For the last year plus, I've been suggesting to the legislature that we need to amend our Constitution. Our Constitution says that the only thing a judge can take into effect when deciding whether to give a violent person bail after they've been arrested is risk of flight. Are they going to run away? Do they have the means to leave the jurisdiction? If they don't, then they must issue bail. What does this do? What it does is when you have someone with a long record of violent conduct, of violent convictions, we send those people back into the neighborhood that they just were arrested in. And what do? They commit other violent acts. And often they commit other violent acts against the witnesses to the crime they just committed to make sure they don't get sent back to jail. So what happens is that witnesses begin to get intimidated. And in my experience, we've also seen witnesses who are killed. Because if there's no witness, there's no case. And this is unacceptable in our society. Let's get nonviolent drug offenders out of our prisons. And let's open up those jail cells for the violent sociopaths who over and over and over again commit violent acts. And let's give judges the discretion to say, is this record of violent crime enough for us to detain you in jail until your trial? Now, just so you know, this happens in the federal system all the time. Our federal constitution does not require that bail be given, just our state constitution. So when I was U.S. attorney, we used to detain violent folks when appropriate in jail before trial if they had a long history of violent crime. I became governor and found out, because I'd never practiced criminal law in the state system, that you couldn't do that here. This is crazy. What it does is it makes our neighborhoods more dangerous. It puts witnesses at risk. And it takes away discretion from a judge so that that judge can protect the lives of the people of this state. And so I proposed this over a year ago. And I proposed it in conjunction with the drug treatment bill. So let's do both of them together. Let's get people out of the jail cells who are nonviolent drug offenders and get them help. And let's open up those jail cells and fill them with these violent sociopaths prior to trial so that we don't have to run the risk of them coming out and committing other violent acts. Seems to make common sense to me. Yet the legislature won't do it. They did the first part. That's the easy part. And now the harder part about changing our Constitution, they refuse to do. And this is just flat out wrong. And it's making us a less safe state. So if we want to reduce violence in this state, believe me, the legislature runs to pass in the assembly 22 new gun bills. 22. And you know how many days of hearings they had? One. In something as serious as this, you think we could spend more than a day on considering it? Yet for a year plus now, I've been proposing this change to our bail system, which the U.S. Supreme Court says is legal, and they don't act on that. Not even a hearing for that proposal. Not even a hearing. They're playing politics. And we have to stop them from doing that because this issue is too important to play politics with. Because people are dying in the streets because we're not doing what we need to do. And so I wanted to start off by talking to you about those crime proposals this morning because I'm proud of many of them. And we've been able to achieve some good things so far. And we have more proposals coming on the reduction of violence so that we can deal with this in a smart and sensible way. And make sure that the people who really need out there are getting help. But also that the people, our everyday citizens, are not put at risk on the streets by continuing to let more and more violent people out of jail because we won't make that one simple change.